All right, we for sure got to talk about this one. This nothing annoys me more in this world. Nothing annoys me more in this world than the dad bod. It is one of the most criminally insane things that men try to justify in our lifetime. Never in the lifetime of humanity has people tried to purposely make some type of accolade for being out of shape and fat because you had children. It's insane. Now listen, don't get me wrong. Being a father, all those extra responsibilities, taking care of a household, all those things. Yes, I can understand you have less time for yourself. That makes perfect sense. I ain't mad at you for that one because that just makes logic. If you're working, you're doing all these things. But sir, don't make the excuse for being fat. Like that is something that men have freaking really lost accountability for. And this is really why we have this great decline in man. And I'm going to go more about this on the video of the great decline of man or state of manhood. But the first thing of all things for mankind and just man in general is your physique. Your physical presence is the first thing people see about you, recognize you before anything else. You could be a bum wearing tattered clothes, dirty, smelly. Man, if you walk in there jacked, you get a pass for it because they're just going to assume you're just doing some real work. And the thing with the modern man today, the modern man is more comfortable than he's ever been. He is more free. He is more easily acquiring of resources. He doesn't have to go out there and hunt no more. All the hard stresses that really made a man really have to like stress about life are gone. And you know what these men choose to do now that they don't have these constant need of stress that's in their life from being able to hunt and do all the other things? They chose to be fat. The dad bod is a myth. Hashtag what's your BMI? Hashtag stop being fat. Hashtag do the work. See, we're going to go over this. We're really going to go over this in some deep depth because the dad bod doesn't start once you have a kid. No. See, the kid is the justification for the poor actions that you've been doing since you're 15. Something happens along the line with most guys, and I noticed this since I was a young lad. One day, people just stop playing. They stop going out to recess to play soccer, play football, play foursquare, tag, and all that stuff, and they decide to go sit at the lunch tables and sit on their phone. And now it's getting worse because it's starting way earlier. When you see these young kids now, they're on their phone at like 12, 13. They don't even go outside and play anymore. They just all circle around in a circle and they play on their phone. The days of kids going outside and just wandering about the city and on their bicycle scooters running around playing with other neighborhood kids, those days are long gone. And that's why this rise of the dad bod is going, because the kids are mimicking their fathers. See, whenever I see a fat young baby or a fat child, I look for the father and I say, okay, well, if the father's fat, it makes sense because the father doesn't work out, so the kid has nothing to model his example of. And this is what happens to most young kids. You are the example for your children. Your children see what you do, they copy what they see, and repeat what they hear. And when I see a fat young kid, I know that the dad ain't working out. Because a dad that's trained, that's working out, that take care of himself will never let his kid become like a fatty. Because he understands that how they treat fatties. And that's the thing. Guys who are in shape, guys who are muscular, guys who take care of themselves don't respect the fat people. They don't. It's hard to respect fat people. I'm not saying that there's a problem with people being fat, but it's difficult to respect somebody who does not put the work in to maintain their own physical image. Because the people who work out understand how difficult, how much regiment, and how much discipline it takes to maintain the order, which is their body. So when I see somebody who's out there and not in shape, I'm like, okay, well, that person doesn't take himself seriously. Because look, even me, I train hard, I work out. So if I see somebody who's more ripped than me, that's in better shape, I'm like, damn, that dude's put in serious work because I know how much work I put in. So that person has to be putting in way more work than me. So you instantly have a natural response of respect because you can't help but not have it. It's inevitable. And see, the dad bod, people have let this shit go away because a lot of women want their guys to get fat. And it's not women's fault. It's really not women's fault. I don't blame them whatsoever. It's just their natural biological imperative. Once they lock you down, they don't want you to be sexy no more. Because the sexier you are, the more they have to fight off the other women that are trying to get after you. Because they know a man who is taken, a man who has a wife and kids, and is out there really taking care of a household is so sexy to a woman. See, like a single bachelor is sexy to a woman. But what's sexier is a guy who's taking care of his business at a house. That's nothing more. Because what women see is that's pre-selected. This guy can already take care of a family. So if he could take care of a family, he could take care of me. And if he could take care of me, I want him. Because naturally, women just want guys that can take care of her. They want providers. They want providers and protectors. So what's the scariest thing to a woman is when she sees her man as a provider and he looks like a protector. That is a scary, scary proposition for most women because they know they have to fight off all these other women because it makes them that much dually attractive. Follow the logic here. Follow the logic, because it's deep shit. Giving you guys dating one-on-one. And so what happens is a lot of women want you to be the provider, but they don't want women to know that you're a protector. See, if you're just out there and you're a fat slob and you're making a bunch of money, you're still not that attractive. Like, money does not attract women the same way that a physical presence attracts a woman. A physical presence will always attract a woman by far. It's just nature. She looks at you physically first, and then she figures out what's on the back end with the money and stuff. But she has to be naturally attracted to you. And see, the Dad Bod, what the Dad Bod has created is a legion of men who are doing their duty, taking care of, but they're lowering their value. So they're still providing the same protection and resources, but they don't get the same attraction from women on the outside because they look like fucking fat daddies. And only women that really like the Dad Bods are lazy chicks that don't want to have to work out, because if they see that their man's working out, they know they have to work out. And here's the truth about the world. Nobody really likes to work out. Nobody really likes to train. There's only a couple psychos out there like David Goggins, myself, that actually like to train, that actually enjoy getting up, putting in hard work a day, sweating, bleeding, getting their body nice and tight. And it's not even because you look nice. It's just the mental aspect of training is what most guys enjoy. And see, that's the thing with most guys. Unless you're one of these like bodybuilders or Instagram guys, you have to start to develop a mental framework for why you are training. Training cannot just be purely aesthetics. Aesthetics is just the byproduct. It feels good to look good, but it's the mental clarity, the mental aspect of growth, of doing something hard, and then going through the rest of your day feeling good about yourself. Because you know what? I accomplished something difficult. I went out and ran 3 miles, got myself a lift in, ate well, took care of my body. You feel good, and the byproduct is you look good. And then when you look good, you feel good, and then you keep repeating the cycle. It's an upclimbing cycle. But here's the thing with most guys. Most guys stop physically developing and training themselves around 16 to like 22. That's when most guys drop off when it comes to training. And then what happens is the body is still young, still active. You still have like the youth, your natural youth of energy holding back your bad choices. And then one day you hit the, I guess you would say the critical mass, where you finally hit the point where your youth can no longer stop your bad choice, and then you see the decline. That's when the belly starts to come. That's when the overweight. That's when the mouth breathing and all the other bad signs of somebody who doesn't train starts to come upon. So the Dad Bod is actually a mentality that starts back when 16. And the scary thing about today's age is the Dad Bod mentality is now starting at like the age of like 12. These kids are fat. I don't know if you've been out here looking at the young people. The kids are fat. I'll be the first one to tell you, the kids are fat. Now, you might not want to recognize, because you might have one of these fat kids. You might. I don't know. Hopefully, if you're listening to my channel, you're probably a young dude that doesn't have a family yet. But if you're out there really, if you're a teacher, if you're out there coaching, refereeing, and I saw this as a referee, I saw this as a teacher, saw it as a coach, I saw it as a tutor. These kids are getting fatter at an earlier age. Childhood obesity is a real thing because there's adult obesity. The obesity is being passed down because these bad traits of training, the bad traits of eating, the bad mental, all that stuff, the bad sleep habits, they're all being passed down to the youth because most of the people who are having kids now are now internet kids that are having kids. Like if you're around my age, like I'm 47, so all my like counterparts have now have kids now, and these kids, they were already lazy to begin with, and now they're passing on the laziness. So the Dad Bod is now becoming like more celebrated as a way to basically keep men in this like this sad chain, because the world doesn't really want strong men. At least in the West, we don't really want strong men because strong men do what they want to do. Because you got to understand, man is an animal. Man is a very unruly animal. So if you got a bunch of strong guys that are jacked, smart, and just don't care, and they're willing to do whatever they want to do, that's a problem for civilization. Because you got too many crazy dudes running around. And that's why war was so common in the early man time, or in most of the early civilization, because man was all jacked. Man was all lethal, so they weren't taking no shit from nobody. And that's what happens as you get stronger and as you get bigger and you start to develop your physique, and you feel good. And you know that you train your mind, and you train your body to be a certain type of lethality, to be strong. You don't take shit from nobody. And so what the world tries to do now, we put out this propagation of media of like the fat dad bod, like the Homer Simpson, the Peter Griffin, the Al Bundy, All these different characters are like just dads that are lazy ass dads, lazy fat dads, and it presents a bad male image. And the male image gets propagated to these young kids, and kids think, well, that's what I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to get up, have a wife, get fat, and just be happy. No, you're not supposed to be fat. The human body wasn't designed to be fat. This is a new phenomenon. For most of human history, we've always been dealing with famine. Famine has been the common state of hungriness or in civilization and human mankind. We normally have always been in a starvation mode trying to figure out how to get more food. And overly, in like the last 300 years, I would say, since the Industrial Revolution, we have now had a surplus of food. And now the surplus of food is almost insane now. Like, you can go get such cheap, easy, sugary food for like the price of nothing. Like, it's cheaper to go buy candy than it is to go get fruits and vegetables. And where there is incentives, there is going to be outcomes that are byproducts of those incentives. And incentives are buy cheap food, don't exercise because you don't have to, because we got Uber Eats, you got video games, you don't have to go do anything, you don't have to go hunt. And people are turning out fat. And so the dad bod is now becoming like the standard for man. At the age of like 16, you look at these skinny fat kids, even the kids that are skinny, it's embarrassing. And see, what you need to understand, people, if you're not a father, if you are a father, you need to set an example for the youth that are around you. When the kids see a strong, jacked dude, it makes them want to be a strong, jacked dude. It makes them want to go work out and go. But if all they see is like a fat, slobby guy, they're like, oh, well, I guess that's okay for me to be fat and slobby. Everybody I know is fat and slobby. My dad's fat and slobby. My mama's fat and slobby. My grandfather's fat and slobby. My teacher's fat and slobby. My coach is fat and slobby. Everybody I go, everybody I see. I go to the cashier's fat and slobby. Everybody's fat and slobby. So what does that mean to me? Oh, it's okay for me fat and sloppy. This is what things are supposed to be. And that's what the problem with the dad bod is. It's been normalized. You gotta say, fuck that shit. Be jacked. Be in shape. Have good cardio. Treat yourself. Treat yourself like you give a fuck about yourself. And that's really the larger message is like the dad bod is just, it's an insult to man. Because your kids want to see you live long, healthy lives. And it's not just an insult to God, an insult to your young baby, but it's an insult to like your future generations where you might not be able to live a long life because you chose to be a dad bod. Like, I can understand, you can put a little bit of love baby on it, but you should be able to handle yourself. A lot of these guys just can't even handle it. They're barely walking. We got a lot of obese fathers. And that's a tragedy because you got these young babies running around. You got to have energy. You got to be able to run around, grab these little things, drag them. They're fucking animals. Kids are savages. People don't understand. See, if you don't hang around kids, you don't understand. These kids are savages. They got energy for days. I've been working with 5 and 6 year olds, energy forever. I got to constantly take them outside and go run around and make them tire themselves out. Constantly. It has to be like activity after activity after activity. And if you're in a dad bod state where you're just not in shape, and shout out to the mamas, because mama, I know you push the baby out, you put on that weight. I understand. I ain't mad at the mamas. Mamas get a pass for me. Mamas get a pass for at least a year to get themselves back in order. But you fathers, you lazy fathers, not being in shape, how are you going to demand your wife to look good and you're not in shape? She wants to look at you looking good. You got to motivate her to want to get better because you are better. But if you're not motivating her, you're just out here being a slob, man, how's that fair? So listen, get rid of the dad bod mentality. The dad bod is a myth. That is not real. You could be a jack father. You're not giving birth. I don't want to hear it. You're not giving birth. If anything, you should start to go harder. You should be in better shape once you have a child. And there's no excuses. If you're a single guy with no babies and you're out of shape, brother, find God, because that you just ain't living right, sir. You got too much time in the day to not be in shape and be jacked and look good and handsome and maxing your full look potential because you want to be out here eating cheeseburgers and gyros and shit. Come on, man. Let's be better. So if you want to learn how to lose some weight, I'm going to put down my webpage for fitness, cybermatesfitness.com. It's going to be a link on the apexsapient.com. Both of them are my umbrellas. I'm teaching people how to get jacked, how to train, how to get used to taking care of their body for the long term. Because listen, man, this is a long, 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 long life. And if you want to live a longer life, you got to make sure you stay in shape. So get your ass in shape. Don't let that dad bod bullshit propaganda fuck with you and trick you. You deserve to be at your maximum potential. So if you want to get to that maximum potential, cybermatesfitness.com, hit the link, book a consultation. I'm going to teach you how to get your body right. I got plenty of help. I got plenty of testimonies and help and all that stuff, and people have tried and I've taught and trained and all that other good stuff. Appreciate you guys for listening. And man, fuck the dad bod. Hashtag what's your BMI? Hashtag stop being fat. Hashtag do the work. Being out here fat people. Man, I'm tired of it.